Well, welcome again on this Sunday evening. I want to thank you for taking part in this study of Revelation. Tonight we have advanced to chapter 17. This is session 39 of our look at Revelation. The title of this is Babylon, the Prostitute on the Beast. This is actually part one of two parts. I will give you a little background on chapter 17. It's a lot of Bible scholars consider it one of the toughest chapters to understand in the Bible. Chapter 17 and 18 will provide some idea of why God seeks to destroy Babylon. Chapter 17 tells us about a Babylonian woman who has a double identity. She's a mother and a city. The key to understanding chapters 17 and 18 is recognizing that Babylon the Great is both a woman and a city at the same time. As a mother, Babylon the Great is a failure. She is the mother of prostitutes. According to the Bible, a prostitute is more than a person who commits sexual sins, but one who spiritually has stopped following the true God and has turned to idol worship. I want to share a scripture with you. Exodus chapter 34, verses 15 and 16. This talks about prostitutes. It says, "Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land, for when they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to them, they will invite you and you will eat their sacrifices. And when you choose some of their daughters as wives for your sons, and those daughters prostitute themselves to their gods, they will lead your sons to do the same." And also 2 Chronicles chapter 21, verses 11 to 13 also hits on this point. He had also built high places on the hills of Judah and had caused the people of Jerusalem to prostitute themselves and had led Judah astray. Jeroboam received a letter from Elijah the prophet which said this is what the Lord, the God of your father David says. You have not followed the ways of your father Jehoshaphat or of Asa, king of Judah, but you have followed the ways of the kings of Israel, and you have led Judah and the people of Jerusalem to prostitute themselves, just as the house of Ahab did. You have also murdered your own brothers, members of your own family, men who were better than you. So this is talking about the mother of false religions. Talks about love and peace, but they do not love Jesus. They're left behind when the true church is raptured. As a city, Babylon is also a failure. During the tribulation period, Babylon will be filled with adulterous kings. They will open her doors to a one-world government, religion, and a global trade. People looking for a lust for pleasure will flock to her. At the end of the tribulation period, God will pour out his wrath on Babylon, and Jesus will return and destroy Babylon the mother and Babylon the city. And just as you and I are the bride of Christ, and Israel is the wife of God, this is mentioned in Revelation chapter 19 that we'll get to eventually. Verse 7 talks about the bride of Christ. Let us rejoice and be glad and give him glory. For the wedding of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. And in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 32, it talks about the wife of God. It will not be like the covenant I made with their ancestors when I took them by the hand and to lead them out of Egypt, because they broke my covenant, though I was a husband to them, declares the Lord. These adulterous kings that we're talking about here in chapter 17 will marry false religions. They will cooperate with the false prophet and the Antichrist in pushing a false religion on the whole world. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, as we study chapter 17 this night, we just want to thank you for your word and ask that you will grant us understanding of what we read this night. Bless this study of chapter 17, that we will learn more about you and will ultimately draw closer to you, Lord, in all that we say and do. So we give all glory to you in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, I'm going to read with you Revelation 17, 1-7. Again, the title of this is Babylon, the Prostitute on the Beast. This is part one of 2 parts. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute, who sits by many waters. With her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries." Then the angel carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand, filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. The name written on her forehead was a mystery: Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and of the abominations of the earth. I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people, the blood of those who bore testimony to Jesus. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, "Why are you astonished? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns." All right, in verse number 1 of chapter 17, John will be invited to look at the punishment of Babylon the mother. This is a revelation of what God plans to do with this harlot religious system. In the Bible, seas and waters represent great masses of people. Revelation chapter 17 that we'll get to next week, verse 15, waters, talks about, "Then the angel said to me, the waters you saw, where the prostitute sits, are people, multitudes, nations, and languages." There's an indication that the great prostitute will exercise control over the great masses during the tribulation period. The spiritual roots of a one-world religion goes back to Babylon. In verse 2, the harlot religious system will commit adultery with the kings of the earth. They want to merge religion and government, the political system designed to manipulate the people of the earth into a false government-approved religion. The wine of her adulteries is a reference to demon possession. Luke chapter 8, verses 26 to 36 talks about possession, and I encourage you to read that this coming week. This wicked woman will cause people to be led astray by deceiving spirits. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. The Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. You know, with widespread religious deception so out of control, it is easy to see how a one-world church controlled by Satan will take place. One world religion will have a lot of Catholics, Protestants, and other religions. The saved, regardless of what religion or denomination, will certainly be raptured. The lost, regardless of their religious beliefs, will be left behind. In verse 3, John was taken in the spirit to a desert where he saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is the Antichrist. Revelation chapter 13, verse 1 talks about the Antichrist. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast come out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. We must assume, since a woman is sitting on the beast, that her prostitute religion and the Antichrist will exist on earth at the very same time. At first, the Antichrist will support her, but eventually things will turn sour between the two. Their relationship will be hindered by the woman's double identity. She is both the mother, the false religious system, and the great city Babylon. I want to share with you Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. In verse 4, purple and scarlet clothing with jewels indicates she will be a prostitute of royal stature. She will appear enticing and appealing to the world. The golden cup, will it be the Holy Grail? Will she take communion with it? These are both questions to be answered. She may want the world to think that. She will really be holding a cup filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. When the false religions drink from this cup, they will drink the wine of adultery, symbolic of deceiving spirits and deceiving demons. Jeremiah chapter 51, verses 7 and 8. Babylon was a gold cup in the Lord's hand. She made the whole earth drunk. The nations drank her wine, therefore they have now gone mad. Babylon will suddenly fall and be broken. Wail over her. Get balm for her pain. Perhaps she can be healed. Those who accept the authority of the scriptures accept the existence of demons, cohorts of Satan. All who have not accepted Christ are subject to their evil influence. Mankind will be left in the mindless pursuit of material prosperity as the basis for meaning and value in life. The danger of the Christian church becoming poverty-stricken spiritually as they have become wealthy materially. In verse 5, the prostitute will come from Babylon and be associated with Babylon again during the tribulation period. She'll be known as the mother of prostitutes and the mother of abominations. Many evil and adulterous practices will flow from her. A false religious system was born on the plains of Shinar in ancient Babylon, where the first world dictator, Nimrod, defied God. He built a tower that would reach to heaven. I invite you to read this in Genesis chapter 11, the first 9 verses. This tower was used for studying the stars and established the basis for astrology. From the very beginning, Babylon was associated with sorcery and astrology. In verse 6, the prostitute will not only make others drunk, but she too will be drunk on the blood of the tribulation saints. Revelation 17:2, with her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. This religious system will be actively involved in the persecution and death of God's people. The pagan church of the last days will not develop overnight. It will be created by negotiation and conferences over a number of years, leading up to the start of the 7-year tribulation period. Quite probable we will witness the initial steps toward this one world church in the last days before the rapture. In the final verse for tonight, verse 7, God's angel perceived that John was astonished and confused. He told John that he would explain 2 things. 1, the mystery of the woman, and 2, the mystery of the beast. And the remaining verses of this chapter are all about that. And we will get into that next Sunday. So thank you once again. Please read chapter 17, and I will see you again next Sunday. God bless.